G'day guys, got Azar here for the Ask Razor show, episode 4, Monday morning takeoff. This is the start of the week, so one of the things that I really believe in and focus on is the good information that we put inside our head starts to replace all the negative and bad information that we have floating around. So what does that do for us, or how do we do it? Listening to podcasts, obviously, which is why I started doing them, because I love them myself. Watching good things, so trying to find stuff that motivates you, and books. I do a lot of reading. So recently I posted up about a book that I'm reading called Relentless, and Wayne Hammett asked, so I did that on Instagram, and Wayne Hammett just asked what my top 5 books are. Now, it's not possible to give you my top 5 because it depends on what it is I'm trying to learn. So if you're looking for health and fitness advice, you'd be reading books about health and fitness. If you're looking at management, at going into a leadership role, at building team cohesion, you'd be reading books around that. If you're looking at managing money and accounting, you'd be reading books about that, and so on. So it depends what it is that you're looking for as to what books you're going to read. But I'll give you some of my go-to books which I've got here, which I really love for different things, and a couple that I don't have here. So 2 that I don't have are both books by Keith Fennell, Warrior Brothers and Warrior Training. Warrior Brothers is really about leaving the military, about what it takes, and leaving the brotherhood or the sisterhood, and how we transition into the real world, I guess. And it was very much a cathartic experience that Keith wrote that book. That then led on to Warrior Training, because a lot of people asked him about what did it take to get into the SAS at such a young age. So he wrote a book around his mindset and his training. So they're both books that I would highly recommend getting your hands on. My favourite book at the moment is this book here called Relentless by Tim Grover. Now Alyssa put me onto this. It's called Relentless, From Good to Great to Unstoppable. So this is a no bullshit, not a soft and cuddly book. You're not going to find too much spiritual, there's not a lot of hugging going on in this book. There's not a lot of dream, believe, achieve, yeah, you can do it. This is a hardcore book about what it takes to succeed. This guy is the mindset coach over the years for Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Olympians, soldiers, and so on. If you're someone that reads all of those softer books about, finding your way and all that sort of stuff, and you're not getting where you need to be, maybe you need to give yourself a kick up the arse. Maybe you need a book like this that will do that for you, that will give you hardcore known strategies that are, this is not just a science, this is what works, and it's what he's seen work over a 20-year period of working with these sort of people. So it's not soft, but it's worth reading. Some go-to stuff, you can't go past Dale Carnegie, the 5 essential people skills. So if you're in business, if you're working with other people, unless you're living out in the middle of the jungle somewhere, it's essential to have people skills and to understand how to interact with people, because you're going to run into problem people all the time. How do you handle them? Maybe you're a problem person. How do you handle that? Conflict resolution and so on. So the 5 essential people skills. Grant Cardone, the 10X rule. So this is about not just dreaming big, but dreaming massive. If your goal is to do X, then he wants you to 10 times that, aim even higher. His theory is this, that if you aim for goal A, which is, say, you're 100%, and you fail to achieve it, you might be a bit disappointed, but people set goals that are achievable, so you get to that 100%, that's great. What if your goal was 10 times that, and you didn't make it, but you made it to 30% of the 10 times goal? Well, that's 3 times your initial goal, so you're now up here somewhere. That's kind of the theory he goes with, how to take massive action. So it's quite a good read. Simon Sinek, you can't go past Simon Sinek if you're talking about, or you're wanting to know about leadership. So he's got a few books, but this one here is called Leaders Eat Last, and it's based on something that we know in the military, where the lower ranks, the soldiers, eat first and the officers eat last, because the soldiers are the ones out doing the hard yards, and as an officer, if you want them out there doing the hard yards, they need to eat first. So it's a whole book around the leadership lessons to be learnt from Leaders Eat Last. This one here, which I haven't opened obviously because I've read a copy of this, but these are copies that I bought that I give out to clients. Hands down, one of my favourite books. This is written by Dan Flynn. He is the co-founder of Thank You, which initially started out with Thank You Water and so on. The book is called Chapter 1. It had an amazing marketing campaign around it. It has an amazing story about what they've done in the first few years since they started the brand of Thank You, and how they're helping other people all around the world. Because what Thank You is it's a business, it's a charity business. So it raises money. It's raised over $4.5 million at the time of writing this. that then goes to fund projects overseas, from water to they've just gone into baby care ranges and so on. So Thank You by Dan Flynn, 100% worth the read. Now I've recently, I'm a shocker for buying books. I was recently in at QBD bookstore. I actually just, it was day one of Alyssa's book, The Girl Who Climbed Everest, being there, so I thought I'd just drop in and see it. It's kind of cool to see your daughter's book sitting on the shelf. And whilst in there, naturally I spent some money. So here's 3 books. I don't know if they're any good or not, but you know what? I think books are the best investment that you can make, because you've got them forever. You can go back to them as often as you want. You only pay for them once. And often you can get really good deals and really good prices. So even if these turn out to be not great, I'm sure I'll get at least one thing out of them that'll make them worthwhile. So the first one, which I just love the title, it says it's not how good you are, it's how good you want to be. And I just love that whole concept. So they're basically saying, we don't care about your talent, how good do you actually want to be, and then are you willing to do the work to get to that? So it's a little book. I've already flicked through it, just grabbed my attention, well worth having. Now, this second one is by a girl called Angela Duckworth, and it's called Grit, and it's the power of passion and perseverance. I love the whole concept of grit, of having grit, of being tough, of being willing to push through things. I love passion, power, perseverance. It's got all the words that I love. The book might be no good, it might be great, but it's going to be well worth at least trialling it out, and it was on special. And the last one for this week is by Jack Delosa. So Jack Delosa runs a thing called The Entourage. He runs a very, very successful massive coaching system to help young entrepreneurs achieve massive things. And he breaks all the rules. So this is a new book called Unwritten, and it's called Reinvent Tomorrow by Jack Delosa. So I don't know if it's any good. Knowing Jack Delosa's work, I'm sure it is. He's quite an inspirational guy, so I'm actually looking forward to reading it. So there you go, that's the Monday morning takeoff. It's just a few books that I'm going through. I can't nail down a top 5. I would love you to comment below, or to share this video and find out what are the 5 books that you would like to be reading at the moment that you think other people might like. What have you heard about? What have you read? What have you got the most out of? I hope that helps you do something a little bit different for this week. Pick up a book, start reading, give yourself half an hour every day of putting good information inside your head as a minimum. Because, as I always say, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So start to put the good information in. Educate yourself. It's a lifelong journey. I'm Azar. Thanks for tuning in.